Hi, YouTube. I hope you're well. I'm going to roll some cigarettes while I talk to you. Um, this morning I got up, I had the news on to watch the weather. I haven't for about, a couple weeks or something like that, but every so often I want to see what our locals are reporting weather wise. And across the bottom of the screen, and then the next, well, anyway, our state has legalized abortion for any age, whatever the heck that's supposed to mean. I suppose that means if a child gets raped and wants to abort the baby, yeah, well, we know any age doesn't probably include my age. Well, it might, but hopefully not. Um, but yeah, so that was a little disturbing. Um, I am pro choice for rape and incest, and with the age thing in some respects. And I had a friend of mine that would have died if she had given birth, and the baby might have died too. So there's different reasons why I might say, well, you know, if it can be proven a medical or terribly emotionally damaging thing. And yeah, it's up to the individual, unless they are a child. Although they are trying to make it so children have more rights because they do want to marry them, any child as young as they can, any sex. And you'll see some crazy stuff in this world if more people don't start recognizing what they're trying to do. I think some of you do, but yeah, it's disgusting. I am going to share a time for judgment. Had a really good. It was an older thing that he has shown before about witchcraft in the music industry and whatnot. But what's really interesting, if you stick with it, it's not terribly long. Oh, less than maybe a half hour or somewhere around in there. But they do go into explaining the different types of witchcraft and the connection to the Illuminati and the Masons and what a 33rd degree Mason actually is and the type of scary people I actually was and am around. And trying to break free of financially with everybody against you is not something that you can just easily do. So anyway, that enough of it. It's not a poor me video. That's not what this is about. This is to educate people so they understand who they're living around and what it actually is and what level they actually are. See, with my dad, who adopted me, being 33, three times over, that means he was Grandmaster three times with Shriner's rights and a Jesuit priest. So he like went up the ranks. And when you listen to this video, you'll find out what he had to do to get there. So, the things I just talk about the crafts and the things these families do, and what's being more widely accepted out in this world, and people, the way they act and what they do, their responses to things or their lack of response to things, is it's all a part of what they're trying to do. Oh, and by the way, just in case somebody who said, um, to just keep doing my work. I was doing my work before I ever thought anybody else would be on this planet thinking the same way as I do. So, um, with that said, this time I'm saying it nicely. You treat me like that again, and the words that come out of my mouth, you will never hear anybody else say anything to you like I will say to you. So just keep that in mind. So, okay, enough of that. Um, okay, yeah, so I am going to share a link with that and Time for a Judgment. It's really interesting. Um, doesn't hurt to remind everybody on the planet of who these people are and what they might be doing in society or positions that they might hold, or even if they're just families that have carried witchcraft in their blood to the point where their actions seem natural, but it's crafts they use, modes of operation that they operate on, and is acceptable within those families that on the surface may look kind of normal. But if you dig down into it, it's nothing normal about it. You know, whenever these people are serving Satan in any way, they're not serving God. So that's that. And I have no desire to know what they do when I can't see people out in open. I would have like people with remote viewing. Unless God put my mind in a situation to have me see something, I would not ever try to look in on somebody in their life. You know, it's not my thing. That's what Satan does. He's the nosy bastard. Normal people don't think like that. You know, I mean, you might, like I say, you might see something in your mind's eye. That's put there by the Spirit of God. Other than that, if you're actively seeking visions, um, the only thing I can tell you is you're screwing up. Because, like I said, normal people don't think like that. It's a fact. It is. Is anybody here? Do I know? I mean, I can see what people are doing. I don't want to, but I can. If God leads me in a direction where I'm looking at something that I need to react on or something, and that happened a lot in the past, not so much anymore. I do believe that that part of the Spirit is dispersed among other people. I really do believe that. I think we all have our things that we do in this world. It's kind of like we take turns battling that beast, you know. That I think so. I mean, I'm not done by no means. I just decided to confront this family up close and personal because I can't do anything else no matter where I go. And I know somebody else is a counselor and a life coach, you know, wondering, what the hell's wrong with you? You can give other people advice, but, well, that's why I've separated myself from this situation as far as I can go until I can go further. So that's I'm not even speaking on my defense. I'm just telling you the way things are. I got sick and I could not even help myself. And that was pure hell. I don't know if anybody, any of you, have ever been sick around a narcissist. When they're sick, they're the biggest babies on the planet. And I'm not just talking men, I'm talking all narcissists. But when you are, they don't know you're sick and they'll never admit that you were, you know. So I guess we have warm weather coming up. And I figured that too. My prediction was for because of the ocean currents. Has nothing to do with anything else. But they can say it does. I don't care what they say. But I've been spot on with everything I said. I told Doug we will never have a full week this whole winter where it's going to snow one solid week. Nope. Maybe for a few days, or that it will be freezing for one solid week. Like we've seen sub zero weather is typical. January, February, or December, January, February, right in even March, like 50 below with the wind chill, or that's not going to happen this year because it's going to be a few days of cold, then it's going to warm up. In a few days of cold, then it's going to warm up. And that's been the pattern all winter so far. And that has to do with the ocean currents being in a La Nina year. Makes the ocean currents colder, but that creates a force that, in a weird way, pushes the jet stream more from the Gulf of Mexico and the West Coast, kind of sucks it up instead of it coming and it drops down like this and goes across to the eastern United States. It comes up and then it comes over and up, kind of like that, and then over. So it sort of literally, and the one down below is still pushing more warmth from the Gulf. Although the coldness of the water from the Pacific Ocean is literally hot rises, so it's forcing warm currents to the top, but it's actually a cold current that's invading the west coast of the United States, and that makes a difference in the weather. When that changes to the El Nino year, it'll be warmer on the surface, or I mean underneath, and then with those it creates a different effect that we will be pulling down more cold air from Canada and having it move more down and across into like the southern United States and whatever, but will create a more um would be like inclement, like inclement weather, more typical for what Minnesota would be, and that would be like one frozen month of sub-zero temperatures or something. We wouldn't have the warming like out in the west. They call it the Chinook winds, which is really typical to get in the middle of winter. You'll get like a break. Well, this is like having several Chinooks through the year. That just means warming of the cold. So I watched a really good, I'll put that in my community. It's I had shared another man and Jason from Archaics and another man. I think his name is Ahmed. I'm not sure, but I'm going to share their conversation. Um, the one man is fluent in Assyrian, um, Arabic, and knows the Quran. And Jason's read it, and I've read it too. And we know that the actual birthplace of Christ was in Syria, and it wasn't in Bethlehem at all. And I've tried to get other scholars to take an interest in the Assyrian languages and to understand why the United States of America and other countries that we really can't name are attacking Syrian countries, because they're taking these old texts and trying to eliminate the languages and the truth of the real truth of the scriptures. And that's what they're trying to do, is untwist all the lies that have been told by using history and recorded documents that have been verified by geologists and scholars, all in agreement, and not just with what the establishment has been telling us, So I'll put that in my community. But the thing with the witchcraft, excuse me, is more important right now. So, yeah. Make it less confusing. My voice just wanted to go. It might have been because I was yelling the other day. I don't really lose it like that. Um, but I mean, on a daily basis, that's not one day. Okay, maybe 1 or 2 days a year, there's silence, and there's nothing funky or nothing weird. But typically, it's several times a day. It's not just one thing that I'm flipping out about or nothing like that. Oh, no, no, no. It's a orchestrated thing. You'll see. If you don't know now, you'll get it. Just every so once in a while, you got to show Satan who's boss. That's not a joke. If you don't, it's like if you had a dog and it come running in your room every time and peeing on your favorite chair or bed or whatever, or your dresser, you know what I mean? So every day this dog's coming in and doing that, you clean it up, and you might scold them, but you don't say much. Well, actually, a dog would be easier to train, and I wouldn't have a dog that probably do that, but I'm using it as an analogy. So, but sooner or later, you're going to do one or two things. You're going to get rid of that dog, have it put down, you know, one of the two. You know, you're not going to just let this dog keep peeing on your bed, you know. And that's what it's like. It's like when you just have had enough of cleaning up the pee, you will snap. You don't want to, you know. And they know, they know they're lucky. Oh, yeah, they do. I do have an advantage of having some really long arms too, and legs. So in like combat and stuff, that's and big shoulders. They're 44 inches for anybody's whatever. For if you want to know, yes, that's what they are. So, and yeah, my arms are very long. I have 36-inch legs, and my arms might be about the same, I think. It's a long reach. So when I was doing that to Doug, I wasn't actually doing nothing to him, but I had him by his shoulder with one arm, kind of shoved him 4 times each time as I was pretending to punch him. Where I took him out of place, I showed him where it could have been with 4 taps really quick, just to say, because I had him by his shirt. It's like, dude, faster than that. But, like when it was happening, it's just like, enough already, you know. And if anybody thinks I'm abusive, call the cops, take me. I don't care. Because when I get out, I'll do it for real. And I'll spend real time. And then I'll be really free. Maybe I won't. But anyway, sounded good anyway for a second. But no, it's not beyond the reach of anything. So if these fucking demons want to keep playing, it's a possibility they could get hurt. I'm all about peace and love, and I'm all about the white flag, the truce, everything else. That's not giving in. That's me waving the white flag in hopes that they won't want to fight. But they can't fight like I fight. So I'm giving them the chance before I have to fight. That's my personality, you know. And I don't like being pushed into fighting. And if I have to be, it's not going to be nice. I've had so many bullies try and pick on me and pull their shit till I can't take it anymore. And I do something about it. And then they don't like it. And it's always men. The women, they'll come like with their shit. But the men, they try and come straight up with it like I'm another man or something. And that in itself is such an insult. They should be slapped shitless by somebody. It should be another man, but there isn't one there. So I try and keep it cool as much as I can, but when men are bullies and the shit they do intentionally, it needs to stop on this planet, is what I'm saying. They wouldn't want to be treated like that. Nobody would. No, I am not going to stop doing what I have work to do. Yeah, every day, every single day. So anyway, on a later note, it is a nice day. It's like I say, warming up, and yeah, I just wanted to let you know that it is not in my personality to ever bother another human being in a forceful way. Ever. These creatures on this planet have free will. But when their free will invades on my time and my space, when I'm doing my own thing, leaving them alone, that's what I expect too in return, you know. Because when people can't get what they want, they try and force the situation. That's not cool, you know. So I can't get what I want, so I'm going to torture somebody. Right. That makes a lot of sense, right? Whatever. Adults walk away, you know. It's funny. Those are the words I always used. I had a couple animals that would get into it every once in a while. And I just tell like Doug's cat Bob, I'm like just like, and my cat Bathsheba, I'm like just, oh, well, mostly it would be if I scolded the dog I had, then Bob would thinking that he had to reprimand the dog too. Then my dog would get pissed, and then I'd have to tell them both just walk away. And even the animals know that, you know. And then they'd look back at each other, you know. But I'm like, no, just walk away, leave it alone, you know. Geez, if animals can do that, why can't people, you know? But they don't. They want to keep pushing the issue. And the biggest thing is that there's ones that think they're entitled to have slaves on this planet out of real human beings like me. And I don't take too kindly to it. You don't make a slave out of somebody who's a queen. If you feel me, you should feel the same way about yourself if you're a woman or a man, for the king feeling within your spirit. Not that you created yourself, but that's who God made you to be, royal, not a slave. You're of the royal bloodline, not the fake persona that's on this planet, you know. And we aren't being treated as such because we will not bow down to them and their filthy little games. If they're not ruled by money, they're ruled by sex or both. Nothing rules over me. That's why I got married on the 4th of July. It wasn't just for the union between two people, which that's a real thing, but because I was never going to give up my independent spirit, even within a union, especially with somebody that was just as independent. So I thought, you know, so I don't mind having a man being needy somewhat, but that really is the spot that they should be giving to the woman, that security, that feeling. It's something I've never really had. So, and only within myself. So, and the smartass was saying something last week about what had happened if the house blew up or burnt down or whatever, and what happened if you had no car. And like I said to him, I put thousands of miles on my legs and they still work, you know, and that's true. And he knows I'm not beyond walking out with the shirt on my back. That's my personality. If on a whim, you know, I would leave everything in a heartbeat if I had that whim. If the Spirit of God said leave, I'd leave. That's a fact. Well, he has been asking me to stay, but I'm staying at a far distance. And it's not even a friendship. So if he's going to work some miracles, I hope he's getting after it because I'm getting sick of it, you know. And the minute I have a chance to book, I'm out of here, you know. And I've I don't hold that a secret. There's nothing secret about what I'm talking about. Not one thing. Nothing. Nobody. Never. That's I don't care what I say to who about what. I just don't. I never have. I don't care like that. I don't go out of my way to hurt people's feelings, and I'm an honorable person. So that doesn't leave any room for any shady shit. Well, that's probably about it for today. Like I say, I just wanted to share this video. I hope you do watch it, and I hope you understand when I say that I'm battling a force that I need help with. It's not a joke. I'm not kidding. If you think I am, just ask God to put yourself in my shoes. As a matter of fact, if you can afford to buy half of my place, I'll go. You're more than welcome. You want to make payments? We can write up a contract. No problem. I don't have a problem with that. So if somebody thinks that I'm just staying because this or that, or making excuses, or whatever, I don't care what anybody thinks. I have two other videos going in depth about half my place. You know, so I'm not kidding. I don't care who you are. Make me an offer. It's 5 acres with a creek and a pond and another half a pond and a rye field and fenced in for a horse or anything else, with a lean-to and several outbuildings and a fully functional shop and a 3-bedroom house. So, well, it's a mobile with an add-on. So it's a 2-bedroom mobile home with a, let me see, 18 by 12 edition. So, or let me see, 20, no, 24 by 12. So anyway, and I'm serious. I've said this to Doug too. I mean, what's he gonna say? You know? So I'm serious. So if you think like I'm just sitting here and I'm pouring me and myself to death and not actually making moves to have a brighter future, hey, that's what I'm all about, no matter where I've been. Where I lay my head is home. Wherever I may roam, Metallica. So, anyway. All right, everybody. Have a wonderful night or day, wherever you are. Peace and love from Pine City, Minnesota, USA.